Love the Eagles as much as we do? Then hit that subscribe button and stick with us at Eagles Nest News for all the drama, updates, and hype all season long. The rumor mill absolutely exploded today when whispers out of Philadelphia suggested that the Eagles had shocked the entire league by announcing the sudden departure of Dallas Goddard, a move that no fan, analyst, or even rival scout saw coming. The tight end, long considered one of the emotional anchors of the locker room and a central pillar of the offensive identity, now finds himself at the center of a swirl of speculation that spreads faster than the team can address it. What makes this situation even more intense is that the chatter started out of nowhere, catching people mid-conversation and turning social media into a storm of disbelief, frustration, and confusion. For a player who has been a symbol of consistency, resilience, and chemistry within a roster, the idea of him stepping away feels like a storyline that belongs in a movie rather than a franchise that always prided itself on structure. Fans are trying to process how this move aligns with everything the organization has been preaching, and insiders are scrambling to connect dots that don't seem to match. It feels like Philadelphia is suddenly holding its breath, waiting for someone to confirm whether this is a misunderstanding or a real shift in the franchise's future. What heightens the drama is the emotional response of the fan base, which has always embraced Goddard as more than just a player. He represented grit, toughness, and the classic underdog mentality the city holds so close to its identity. People aren't just reacting to a roster change. They're reacting to what feels like the loss of a personality who matched the pulse of Philadelphia. It's the kind of departure that goes beyond football analytics and contract numbers and dives straight into the emotional core of the franchise. Some supporters believe that something must have gone down behind the scenes, something big enough to disrupt the entire balance of the locker room. Others argue that this must be part of a long-term plan, a chess move designed to reconstruct the offense around new weapons or philosophies. But the truth is that nobody really knows, and that uncertainty is fueling an even stronger wave of speculation. Every conversation, whether in the comments section, sports bars, or podcasts, now opens with the same question. How does a franchise just let a player like this walk? As the whispers continue to echo, insiders try to dissect whether the Eagles made this move out of necessity, strategy, or pure shock value. Coaches often talk about the need to evolve, to adapt, to restructure when the moment demands it, but removing a tight end who has been instrumental in both the passing game and the blocking schemes feels like the kind of adjustment that carries unforeseen consequences. The offense built so much of its rhythm around his presence, whether he was catching contested passes in traffic or sealing the edge for key running plays. His understanding of the scheme was almost intuitive, and that level of chemistry isn't easily replaced. This is why analysts aren't just debating whether the decision was good or bad. They're questioning what kind of ripple effect it could cause. Was this a financial issue? Was it a philosophical dispute? Was he unhappy? Was the team thinking ahead to a future draft loaded with tight end talent? The conversations grow richer, louder, and more unpredictable as fans and experts collide over interpretations that seem to shift every minute. Meanwhile, speculation grows about Goddard's next move, and that's another reason this story has overtaken the sports world. Whenever a player of his caliber becomes unexpectedly available, the imagination of every contender starts to run wild. Fans from other franchises are already creating graphics, scenarios, and mock-ups of what he would look like in new colors. The idea of him becoming a missing piece elsewhere adds even more tension for the Eagles' faithful, who fear watching him flourish in a different system while Philadelphia scrambles to readjust. Rumor channels claim that several teams have already made calls, though nothing official has emerged. Still, the idea alone is enough to trigger a frenzy, as supporters begin to brace themselves for a possible reality where the tight end room looks dramatically different. Goddard leaves behind not only production, but also leadership, familiarity, and stability, qualities that are impossible to quantify and extremely difficult to replace overnight. The uncertainty surrounding where he might land keeps adding new layers to an already dramatic twist. On the emotional side of things, the players themselves seem to be caught off guard, according to a few whispers circulating among insiders. While no official comments have been made, the quietness of the locker room speaks loudly to those who understand team dynamics. When a prominent veteran leaves unexpectedly, it alters the energy of the entire group. Younger players lose a mentor figure, quarterbacks lose a safety valve, and coaches lose a trusted extension of their system. Even off the field, a personality like his helps maintain unity, camaraderie, and that sense of family teams often highlight during difficult stretches. Losing someone who bridges gaps between veterans and younger players can create a void that goes far beyond the XS and OS. And that's exactly why this rumored decision has caused such a shockwave. It's not just the organization adjusting. It's the entire culture of the team feeling the tremor of change. What adds another twist to the storyline is the idea that this departure might spark a domino effect within the organization. Whenever a key player leaves, others start evaluating their own circumstances. Agents begin calling, players begin questioning their roles, and the franchise is forced to reassess every layer of its roster construction. If this move is part of a larger plan, then the next steps will reveal whether Philadelphia is preparing for a rebuild, a retool, or a complete philosophical shakeup. The timing, the secrecy, and the tone of the rumors all suggest that this wasn't a simple decision. It feels more like a strategic detour, one that could redefine the team's identity moving forward. The front office now sits in the spotlight, facing pressure from every direction. And fans, who are known for their passion, intensity, and unfiltered opinions, are waiting to see if this is the beginning of a bold new era or an unexpected unraveling of something that once felt secure. As the second wave of rumors spreads, fans begin diving even deeper into theories surrounding why the Eagles would allow a player like Dallas Goddard to walk at such a pivotal point in the franchise's trajectory. Some believe that internal disagreements may have gradually worn away at the relationship between the star tight end and the coaching staff, suggesting that creative differences in offensive strategy might have played a much larger role than anyone initially imagined. The idea that a player who had been central to so many red zone designs could suddenly lose alignment with the team's evolving offensive identity has ignited a whole new level of debate. And as is typical in a moment like this, every tiny detail now becomes a clue. Every sideline conversation, every press conference quote, every subtle gesture that might have hinted at tension beneath the surface. Fans are dissecting the past like investigators searching for signs of an unraveling that was somehow hiding in plain sight. The emotional reaction hasn't cooled down at all. In fact, it continues to intensify as the fan base tries to process the idea that one of the franchise's most dependable performers is no longer part of the blueprint. People who admired his journey from a lesser-known college program to becoming one of the league's most respected tight ends feel particularly stunned. It's a storyline that resonated deeply with Philadelphia, a city that has always loved players who rise through pure determination and grit rather than hype. Many supporters now feel as though they've lost a representative of that underdog mentality the city embraces so fiercely. And while the organization will likely make statements to calm the reaction, the emotional weight of this rumored departure is something fans won't easily shake off. It already feels like a defining moment, one that separates eras and shifts expectations for what comes next. Another layer to this unfolding saga is the reaction from rival franchises, who seem thrilled at the possibility of Philadelphia losing such a key component of its offense. Rival fan bases are already stirring the pot, adding fuel to the fire by pointing out how destabilizing this move could be. With Goddard gone, opponents may believe they have a clearer path to disrupting the Eagles' rhythm, especially in those crucial short yardage and contested situations where he often served as a lifeline. Even defensive coordinators across the league are rumored to be recalculating how they would prepare for Philadelphia's offense without the tight end's unique combination of size, technique, and reliability. When a departure generates not only internal chaos, but also external opportunity, it becomes clear how significant the player truly was to the team's structure. And the fact that rival fan bases are already celebrating speaks volumes about the magnitude of this rumored shift. At the same time, the Eagles' front office faces immense pressure to respond swiftly and convincingly. The organization has always emphasized stability, smart roster management, and long-term planning, but this rumored move forces them into a spotlight where every decision will be judged with even more scrutiny than usual. Supporters are demanding answers, demanding solutions, demanding a vision for how the offense will adapt. Will they invest in a younger tight end with upside? Will they restructure the scheme entirely? Will they lean more heavily on the wide receiver group? These questions don't just linger. They dominate every conversation, filling the atmosphere with tension while fans wait for any sign that the franchise has a plan. And until the team presents that plan, uncertainty remains the driving force behind the entire narrative. Meanwhile, speculation about Goddard's future grows more complex with each passing hour. Every destination discussed by insiders seems to come with its own storyline, its own emotional arc, its own implications for the league. Some teams appear to be ideal fits based on scheme, others based on culture, and others simply because adding a veteran tight end of his caliber could instantly elevate their championship hopes. The possibility of him joining a rising team, bringing leadership and experience to a young roster, is something analysts are already treating as a potential turning point for the next season. But there is also the scenario where he chooses a contender, determined to chase a defining legacy moment that adds to his already respected reputation. The uncertainty of this decision is fueling a second storm of speculation that now stretches far beyond Philadelphia. Ultimately, no matter where this storyline leads, the shockwaves created by the rumored departure of Dallas Goddard will be felt for a long time. This isn't the kind of move that quietly fades away. It changes how fans view the franchise, how players view their roles, how competitors view their opportunities, and how analysts view the balance of power throughout the league. The emotional imprint of losing a player who represented not just productivity, but also character and resilience, leaves a lasting mark on any team. And for the Eagles, who have built so much of their identity around chemistry, toughness, and unity, this moment feels like a crossroads. Whether the organization emerges stronger or more vulnerable will depend entirely on how they navigate the next steps. But for now, all anyone can do is watch the unfolding drama, react to every rumor, and brace for the next twist in a storyline that has already shaken the NFL landscape. Before we continue, don't forget to subscribe to our channel and give this video a like. Your support helps us keep delivering the latest updates on our Philadelphia Eagles. And don't be shy. Share your thoughts on the news in the comments below. As the speculation continues to build, the silence from Dallas Goddard himself becomes one of the most intriguing elements of this entire saga. Normally, when a player of his stature faces rumors of such magnitude, some sort of message emerges, whether subtle or direct, giving fans a sense of what direction the story might be heading. But in this case, every platform remains quiet, every channel remains still, and that absence of communication only deepens the mystery. Supporters are refreshing feeds constantly, waiting for a hint, a reaction, or even a cryptic emoji, but nothing appears. This kind of silence creates a vacuum that fans and analysts rush to fill with theories, projections, and even wild guesses that feel straight out of a sports drama series. Some believe the silence means negotiations are underway behind closed doors, while others interpret it as a sign of frustration or disappointment with the current state of the organization. Whatever the truth may be, the stillness around him has become a storyline of its own, giving the situation an even more cinematic layer as the league awaits some kind of signal from the tight end at the center of all the noise. Meanwhile, inside the organization, there are whispers that this moment could push several young players into accelerated development roles, forcing them to step into responsibilities they may not have expected this soon. Coaching staff members reportedly see an opportunity to reshape certain offensive philosophies, experimenting with formations and concepts that rely less on traditional tight end usage and more on speed, spacing, and versatile hybrid players. But such adjustments don't come without risk, especially when the team has long relied on a tight and who brought both stability and reliability in high-pressure situations. Younger players might be eager, talented, and full of potential, but the absence of a proven veteran presence changes the dynamics of preparation, communication, and execution. Fans who follow training sessions closely already anticipate that these upcoming adjustments could determine whether the offense maintains its identity or enters a transitional phase marked by inconsistency. And in a franchise that has built its culture on precision, trust, and accountability, the idea of restructuring such a fundamental position adds yet another layer of uncertainty to a chapter already filled with emotional upheaval. As all these storylines converge, the broader NFL community is watching closely, recognizing that moments like this often signal turning points that reshape competitive landscapes across the league. Every franchise is analyzing how this rumored departure affects matchups, how it influences free agency strategies, and how it alters the balance of power within a conference known for tight races and unpredictable shifts. The narrative surrounding Dallas Goddard is no longer just a Philadelphia conversation. It has become a league-wide focal point that taps into themes of loyalty, transition, ambition, and identity. Fans from all corners are weighing in, creating a chorus of opinions that range from empathy to excitement to pure disbelief. And as the Eagles navigate the growing pressure, the tight end's name remains on every timeline, every live stream, and every late-night debate. Whether this saga ends in resolution, reinvention, or complete transformation, one thing is clear. The storyline has captured the heart of the football world, and the echoes of this rumored decision will continue reverberating long after the dust settles. That's it for this update. If you enjoyed the video and want to stay updated with exclusive news about our Philadelphia Eagles, be sure to subscribe to our channel and hit that like button. We can't wait to hear your thoughts in the comments. See you in the next video.